Hello, and thanks for coming along to And We Have an Office Dog, the digital agency podcast where we talk to agency owner-directors and learn more about what makes them tick. From the things that make them similar to the things they'd rather have known sooner, where they've had success and where they've learned some hard lessons. All will be revealed with your host, Chris Simmons, the agency coach, and he'll be talking to a different awesome agency person in each episode, asking them 4 questions and seeing where the conversation takes us over the next 25 minutes. Okay, so let us begin. Over to you, Chris.
Thanks, voiceover guy. And on the podcast today, we've got Bibi, the amazing link builder, for a second time. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing amazing.
So, Bibi, anyone who has been naughty and skipped your first episode from last year, can you let them know, if they didn't already, know who you are and what you guys do, what the agency does?
Okay. I'm Bibi the link builder. I'm from Amsterdam. I build links with 4 teams of about 30 people all over the world for our clients. In my spare time, I play with swords. Yeah, that's it.
Like, agency life's so good that in your spare time you like to play with swords.
Yeah, kill people. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely not for real, people who are listening.
No, not for. Oh, of course.
Not that anyone's found out yet, anyway.
No.
That's what the canal's for.
Yep.
So, how's the last year been in general for the agency?
Last year has been really fast, I feel like. But of course, when you get older, time flies. I think we have been getting much better in systemizing things and having processes in place. But at the same time, I wanted to actually become smaller, to have like a smaller agency, less projects. And I feel like I failed at that. So we became smaller and now we're bigger again.
Sometimes you're just too popular, Bibi.
Yeah, or just, I don't know. I think...
So since we last spoke, about basically a year ago, almost this week, actually.
Yeah, wow.
Can you, what have been some of the largest or the most major changes in the agency?
Largest changes?
What's developed the most?
I don't know if we changed that much. I think some things have more solidified in terms of systems and processes, but I think one of the biggest changes is incorporating AI in all of our processes. So that's the last couple of months.
And this is, I'm definitely talking to the real Bibi right now, yeah?
Maybe.
So we'll talk about that in a second, really.
Yeah.
Obviously, the industry's adapted a huge amount over the last year. There's been typical SEO, normal digital marketing changes, but there's also been this kind of relatively sudden march of AI. Last year there were tools available, but they had limited use cases.
Yeah.
What was it that was the trigger for you to start implementing things on a large scale for the agency?
I think we were using some AI with tools just to play around with, but it was all sort of limited for us, or it wasn't better than the human aspect. And then when ChatGPT or Geppetto got released, I started playing with that, and then I thought to myself, the only limit here is your imagination and what you can do with it, right? And of course, Geppetto is very high in intelligence and low in wisdom, so you have to take that into account. But other than that, it was so easy to work with and so intuitive in a way. So I think that's where it left the field of the IT nerds and the mathematical and logic people, and it became part of the realm of creative people. And a lot of things that we do in the agency is all about being creative. So
Agreed. Yeah. It's I've played with it quite a lot as well, and I think that it is the old garbage in, garbage out thing. You have to spend an awful lot of mental energy tuning it, shall we say, so that it behaves or the response it gives fits the needs that you're trying to meet. If you just say, give me 10 captions for an Instagram reel about fashion, it's going to be really generic.
Yeah.
And if you tell it, you are X and you know about this, and here's some do you know about these types of people, and you create a conversation before you give it the actual task, it can generate an awful lot of value for you.
Yeah, and it's very similar to creative flow, because if you want to do something creative, for most people it doesn't really work to sit down and be like, okay, this is the structure, this is the format, I need to do A, B, and C. You have to sort of fuck around a lot first, play around with it. Don't have a really set goal in mind at first, so that you get really familiar with the tool. So when I train people on AI in the company, I ask them first to spend 15 minutes every day for a week or something. Just ask it whatever you want. Doesn't really matter. It's not for work, right? And that's how they learn the parameters in which they can work and stuff. So,
where do you think it's going to go for the agency?
I think everyone is going to have their own assistant in a way. So instead of themselves seeing themselves as an assistant, they'll have an assistant. They're going to save a lot of time, and I think that's it. We will be able to get more focus more on strategy stuff, be more relaxed.
And I think for the business that you run and the types of clients that you reach out to, it's a human to human connection, really. So those roles will be pretty. If they use the tools as a tool, then they'll get more value. But it isn't a junior SEO who's doing 1 million page titles who won't need to have a role doing that in the future, because those sorts of things will be automated. But the outreach, the creation of good content, the creation of things like that, those are the sorts of things that will just help people in kind of link building roles, presuming link building always remains link building as that develops as well.
Yeah, I also told everyone, like, no one will be replaced by this tool, but you have to learn how to work with it.
Yeah. Agreed. I think if you're running a usual, say in inverted commas, full service digital marketing agency where you do SEO, PPC, etc., and so on, quite a lot of the bottom heavy agencies where they hire lots and lots of juniors that they train as they go, they'll struggle more than agencies that have a lot of creative and account management aspects. But that's just about developing as opposed to adapting, and developing as opposed to hopefully not just suddenly closing the doors. There's a lot of agencies that I've been speaking to, though, that are firmly in the camp that this is just another fad and that it's just going to go away. Not sure about that one personally.
That's so interesting. They should look at other industries. So I've been familiar with AI for a long time. Like one of the friends I used to play Dungeons and Dragons with for years, years back, he's a professor in AI at university, and he was one of the first ones that programmed AI robots for the Olympic soccer games.
Oh, wow.
So there was the AI, not Olympic, but the AI World Soccer Cup or whatever. And another friend, he owns a AI company called Brain Creators, and they do a lot of stuff with visual recognition. So they do all the stuff at the harbor port, the recycling, identifying certain objects in the recycling, all those things. So you should look at other industries where AI has taken root, and that was 20 years back. So
and it's going to make a change. I think that quite a lot of those agencies that I mentioned just they're the ones that are still offering quite low cost work, because it is the model works that way for them still, which is they'll need to change. With all of this happening, obviously there's a lot of things changing So that means processes and systems inside your business to obviously incorporate quite a lot of these changes. And you said you went, the business grew, and sorry, you shrunk the business and then it's grown back again and things like that. And I think when we spoke last on the podcast, you were saying that that you get a lot of leads in. What's been kind of one of the biggest wins for the last year? What's something that's happened in the last year that's been like celebration worthy?
So I went on a holiday in I think it was June or was it April? I don't know. I went on a holiday and I went to a beach house and then a little beach shack, and I read this book called The Dream Manager, right? Because I don't know shit about management, and I thought The Dream Manager was about how to manage people. But it wasn't. The book wasn't about that. It was about a cleaning company that had a lot of turnover. Did I tell you this before or not?
No.
Okay, so I was found in a big cleaning company. It was a parable, not a real story, but a cleaning company that had a lot of turnover. And the point was that nobody could really progress in the company that much. The service is really simple. You can become a manager or something, but there's not much to go. And it's a shit job, basically. So they appointed someone who was going to form these coaching groups and help people achieve their dreams, so big and small. And that person became the dream manager. And then I thought, this is cool. This is where I can offer people more and become also a better company, not just, a better company in terms of sales or anything like that, but just be a better company for the people that work there. So we started a coaching group and called it was called the Dream Project. And we asked everybody to list, everybody wanted to be part of the group, to list 100 dreams in different categories. So purpose, health, physical appearance, travel, all those things. And the point of that was that if a person was asked to do 100 dreams, then at least they will have 20, even if they're stuck getting 100, they'll have enough. And then together we would pick some dreams to start working on, like 3 dreams maximum. And some things could be very simple and other things could be, like long-term, never going to happen dream. So we started doing that, and that has been amazing. So every week we have a group call, and then everybody goes through what they've done. It's like stand-up meeting, and now it's called Project Firefly, because at the beginning of the project there was this guy who said, "I want to see fireflies," and it was just
that's a cool dream.
Yeah, right.
They're not everywhere.
No, and then we said, okay, so maybe you need to research what needs to happen. So he went to insect experts in the neighborhood. And they told him, look, it's going to be very hard. You have to have a plot of land and you have to ignore it for 15 years. And then maybe a firefly shows up. So he was like, okay, that's not going to happen. So then we talked about, but why do you want to see these fireflies? Because it's also good to talk about the why. And then we determined that it was about this feeling of childish wonder, like having that feeling again. And then we said, well, there are other ways you can get that too. So he went through other ways to get that. And that was really funny. In December, which is like 6 months after, he actually happened to saw fireflies by accident. So coincidental.
That's awesome.
Fireflies. So he wasn't even looking for them, and it just happened. He was driving in a car, and then they saw them. They stopped him and looked at them. So other people have things like they wanted to start a business, alongside with their job. So they started a sticker business. They're now selling stickers at art galleries. Which is causing a little bit of passive income for them because they don't have to actually put any time in it. Other people wanted to travel, so they're now doing the digital nomad stuff somewhere in the mountains and things like that. So that's been a huge change for the company.
That's really good. It is, and it's celebration worthy because it's not. It's nice that you're pushing that. Because it's not what you normally would expect to hear in the made 10 new clients or a million extra revenue or all of these things. It's very culture focused, which is really nice. And I think in an industry like this, obviously everyone speaks about culture a lot, but no one really understands like what it means and how to do it. And I think when you see that look on people's faces, when the person saw fireflies, I bet that was a really nice experience for everyone to hear the story.
Yes. Yeah. And I also like it because a lot of people are talking about wellness, especially with remote work, but it's all very structured. Like we have to have a wellness program, da da da. This is more like, what do you want? It doesn't even have to do with your work. It can be something stupid, like somebody wanted to declutter their, I don't know, their bedroom. Fine, not that that's stupid, but it's not.
That's awesome.
And even the people that are not in a group, so not everybody wants to be in a group. I've started to notice that everybody started working on things, so somebody dyed their hair or got a tattoo, or we have an office stipend, so everybody gets money to spend on stuff for their home office. And then at some point I said, you can also use it for a wellness thing. If something makes you happy, ask me first, of course.
Yeah.
But then it's cool. So somebody bought a microphone, which helps with the meetings, but she bought it because she wanted to sing again. So
that's lovely.
Yeah. But I don't want people to start buying coffee at Starbucks or anything. It has to be something that's,
yeah,
I don't know.
Unless you really want that.
Yeah, unless it's really gonna make, I don't know. It's
So with all that in mind, what's been one of the things from you, a Bibi perspective? What's been one of the most sort of enjoyable elements of professional/personal growth over the last 12 months for you?
For me, oh yeah. So in the Dream project, I had this goal for myself to travel more, because I don't think I've traveled enough. But somehow it's always holding me back, because holidays you want to spend with your family and stuff. But then there was Aleida Solis, and she was pushing me like, hey, you should speak at places, and I was always like, no, I don't want to.
She's good at that.
Yes. But then I connected, she's really good at elevating people around her. But then I connected the traveling with the speaking. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to pitch the places, and then I have to travel there.
That's it.
And of course, it's not like a holiday on a beach or whatever, but it's just a short little thing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to Brighton. I'm going to Chiang Mai. But holiday as well. I just came back from Mallorca. We're going to Boston, so those are...
That's awesome.
It's a little bit of a mix, professional and personal, because it's also has to do with the speaking.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, when I used to do quite a lot of traveling for speaking, it was the same. I part of it was professional development. The other part was you go like a day before or a day after, and you have an extra couple of days. So you get, you might only get one day to walk around the city or around the area and have a little look, but you get to travel, and there's a stamp in the passport, and if you like it enough, then that's like a reconnaissance for an actual holiday maybe. But massive credit to Aleida in all areas of this industry for obvious reasons, but she does do a really good job of that. You should do this thing, elevating of people, because she goes to a lot of conferences and she sees a lot of people who speak, who probably those slots might well have been better for Bibi the link builder potentially, and things like that. And it's nice for you to push yourself as well. And I think the one I'd love to go to Chiang Mai. I'd love to do that, not necessarily for the conference, but for that, to go see that city, because I bet you it's like a beautiful chaos. From videos and things I've seen, it's probably really cool. And it's also a really good conference to speak at, from what I've seen as well.
Yeah, I always wanted to go to Chiang Mai, but I never thought I would be speaking there. So that when I got the news that I could speak there, I was just like, okay, now I gotta do it, yay!
That's awesome. What would you, if we plan to speak again in roughly a year's time, obviously, hopefully in between then, but for the podcast, what do you say would be like your main focus for the agency in the next year?
Yeah, I still want to become smaller again. It's gonna be eternal struggle for me.
It's like the tablets that you take in Alice in Wonderland.
Oh yeah, yes. The cookies, yeah.
That's it.
So the cookies and the drinks, I think. But so I still want to become smaller, but maybe not necessarily smaller in the amounts of people that we employ, but more in a number of clients that we have. And then I want to spend more time on side projects, that our own lead gen, affiliate sites, all that stuff. Because that's where I started, and that's where my business partner started too. So it would be great to get back into that. We're slowly getting there. That's also somewhere where AI is going to play a big part. I just got a subscription to what's it called? Zimbrider from Matt Zimmerman, and it combines GPT chat with, I think, server or phrase, and then something else. So you have you have the advantage of the AI, but coupled with actual information, actual data, real life data. So
That's cool.
yeah,
That's cool.
because AI makes stuff up a lot. Have you ever tried having AI count the number of words in a text?
No.
Okay, ask Geppetto. He's wrong always, except if you ask him to list it in a table and then count it. It will count it correctly. But right after that, if you put the same paragraph in and say, how many words is this? It will give you the wrong amount of words.
I think that's what you said earlier, intelligent but doesn't have wisdom. It doesn't know how to, because it's a language model. So it doesn't know necessarily how to comprehend the question well enough.
I don't know.
Weird.
I don't.
Maybe it's counting spaces.
Weird.
Who knows?
It's. I don't know what it's doing. I asked him, so why did you do it wrong the first time? And then they said, I'm a language model, just like you. I make mistakes. And I was like, okay.
Fair enough. Right. So this time next year, we're going to talk about your main focus to see how you got along. If that's good with you, we'll book it in right now. No pressure.
This is really good. This is a good measuring point.
Exactly. I can be your yardstick for the year. So hopefully see you in Brighton. Definitely look forward to hearing about how Chiang Mai goes. But thank you very much for coming along on the second podcast.
Yeah, it was really nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you. In our next episode, we'll revisit another agency leader and see how their last year has been. So thanks very much for listening.
Thank you.